Hey, welcome in. Well, there's been a ton of response on the videos about the NBA boycott and the NHL boycott. And if you watch those videos, you'll know that I said the NHL would be the last one to go for me. The rest of the pro sports, I'm kind of done with them. NHL will be the last one. You know, I mean, for me, it's just tradition. I played the sport when I was a kid, and it's just part of, it's always just been part of, being somebody brought up in Canada. But I have given it up because I don't like the empty virtue signaling and the support of what I consider to be very deceptive and irrational social justice causes. And when we saw the NHL boycotting games Thursday and Friday for what? If you look at the video, if you find out the details of this, appears to be a justified shooting. Well, when I saw that, I thought, that's it, I'm done. Done with the NHL too. And you know what? I'm not sorry about it. I don't miss it at all, actually. And I'm not going to miss it. And I'm going to spend my time doing useful things. And not watching a bunch of millionaires that I don't know who, didn't do the brave thing. They did the easy thing. They took the path of least resistance. At least, for the media. I think that there's a lot of other people who are giving up on pro sports as well. So I think for the bottom line, it's going to be probably quite bad. I know that the NBA ratings are way down, like 40%. But I think in the media world, they did the easiest thing. They took the path of least resistance. Apparently not even knowing anything about the issues for which they're making a quote-unquote stand for. Anyway, there were a lot of comments on that, and I thought it might be interesting to take a look at some of them. I mean, we're talking, a couple of hundred comments, so there were some good ones in there, and it's revealing and gives some insight into what sports fans actually think of all this. But before we get to that, here's something interesting. Dallas Stars CEO, we're losing customers for supporting BLM. What, you think so? You think so? I bet you are. Because as we've learned, there's a lot more to this BLM than what was presented to us originally. And it's left a lot of destruction, a lot of lives, and a lot of Marxist rhetoric in its wake. Anyway, according to this, it says the president and CEO of NHL's Dallas Stars said the team has lost a number of season ticket holders because of the team's support of BLM and protests dealing with race. Brad Alberts stated, quote, "But I stand by our organization's commitment and support our players 100% to express their views." Well, I think that he has to say that. What does he really think? I think he's probably not that happy. And, losing customers, losing season ticket holders, that's not going to make them happy. At the end of the day, they want to make money, okay? That's really all they really want at the end of the day. If they're making money, they're happy. If they're not making money, they're not happy. I think they might have placed their bet on the wrong number for this one. If the comments on these videos are anything to go by anyway. Let's see, what did you guys have to say about this? How about this one? Hockey doesn't need me, and I don't need hockey. After 30 years of being a super fan, I am through with these sensitive bitch-ass sheep they call athletes. So he's not very happy. How about this one here? As Tampa Bay Lightning a season ticket holder with 9 other friends for over the past 10 years, we are currently in the process of canceling our season tickets. Not a good sign for the team. And here's somebody who responded to that saying, good for you. This is an interesting one here. Fans unite against racism. Boycott hockey. There's a perception, which I think is real, that this leftism and the BLM thing is itself what it's accusing everybody else of. That is the racism. It's obvious racism. I mean, when you say that there's only one kind of life that matters, what do you expect people to think exactly? I know you can rationalize it in all kinds of different ways. But, the point comes across, and it's not in the way that is going to make people sympathetic. Because, and here's the thing, is that everybody who's going to boycott pro sports now is going to be labeled as a racist, right? They're not. I think it's a lot of people that are sick of being demonized. How about this one? Protest on your own time and donate some of your millions to a good cause. Here's one. We'll make them go woke. When they go broke, they will be begging to stay away from this social justice foolishness. Sounds like somebody doesn't want politics with his sports. Here's one. Remember when NHL honored officers in military? Here's one. NHL ran a woke ad tonight. I won't be watching Flyers Islanders. They support rapist criminals. A sex offender with a warrant. Done with the NHL. You know, and this is an interesting one because even though the CBC, and ESPN and Sportsnet and all the mainstream media, aren't giving any context. ESPN article I read on it just said that they just shot the guy in the back for no reason, right? But, with this internet thing, people are actually finding out what's actually going on. They're finding out real details. And I think it's a very good thing that people are actually still able to inform themselves, even if Rosemary Barton doesn't want us to know. Hey, if you could subscribe, like, and share, that really helps me out. Thanks a lot. Here's one. These should strike fear into the hearts of the owners of these teams. Tired of being preached to by athletes and actors. I love hockey, and I'm so disappointed by this politicization of my game. Canceled my NHL Game Center on Thursday after 5 consecutive years of subscribing. Yeah, people are taking this seriously. And you know what? You can find much better uses of your time than watching these guys. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, really. Once you kind of take that step and make that decision and commitment, all kinds of things open up to you. Things that can actually enrich your life in important ways. How about this one? Pro sports are not essential to me any longer. Kiss my money goodbye, losers. Yeah, I mean, this should be frightening these athletes. I don't think this is just a few people. I don't think this is a small percentage of people. I think this is a lot of people. I think as they've seen this left-wing politics engulf everything, their movies, their TV shows, the news, sports, politics, everything, they're really getting sick of it. And the tolerance for, biased virtue signaling is really going down a lot. How about this one here? This one is pretty representative, I think. Sadly, if BLM had something to do with helping Black lives, I'd support it. This doesn't sound like a racist to me, but it don't. As a direct quote from one of their leaders in an interview, we aim to dismantle the nuclear family. That's on their website, okay? That's on the BLM website. Then capitalism will fall. This is also talked about on their website. Yes, it is. Their leaders are trained Marxists. They say that themselves. Okay, they're self-professed trained Marxists. They're proud of it. They are nothing but a different color of Antifa. I'm done with the NHL for supporting this radical garbage. You call me a racist because of the color of my skin, but you'll take my money. LOL, go to hell. 2020-21 centralized subscription not being renewed. Don't care who wins the cup this year or if it gets played at all. Again, there's a familiar theme in the messages that people feel like they're just being cavalierly labeled as an ist or an ism. And they don't like it, and they don't feel that way. Pretty much everybody under 50 was brought up with the, Martin Luther King, you judge somebody on the content of their character, which seems to be the only ethical way to treat other people. And as I've said many times in many of my videos, history has made its judgment on identity politics. It always ends badly. Judge somebody on the content of their character is one of the best ideas of all time, if not the best idea. It is the only ethical, decent, moral way of interacting with other human beings. And apparently that's just been flushed down the toilet by a bunch of crazy leftist Marxists who now seem to be controlling every institution, including the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, everything. You call me a racist because of the color of my skin. People feel like they're being judged unfairly, and they are. And they're really getting sick of it. And when they see, even if they love, they love a sports team, they've been following it all their life. If they start ganging up on them too, they're going to drop them. Oh, and those leagues, they're going to lose that money as well. And enough people, enough money, eventually they will take notice. Hopefully it'll be before it's too late. Although, again, I don't care because I got better things to do with my time anyway now. How about this one? Yeah, man, me too. The NHL is so cool and woke, and I'm out. Yeah, people are sick of the posturing. Well, here's a nice one. I couldn't agree with you more on every point. Thank you for saying it. Well, you're very welcome. And I said down here, thanks for your support. So this is a smart guy right here. Couldn't agree with you more on every point. Here's one. Don Cherry was just the start of the NHL's demise. Yep. Here's a comment there. Missed that guy. Yeah, that wasn't good for business, I don't think. Here. Agree. I was a 35-year fan, but no more. This season finished me off. Here's one. Now, this is one of the very few negative comments here. But check this out. The fact that you guys are more mad that there is no hockey and think it's political is why we fight. And it's very typical of leftist criticisms to just not understand what the issue is. But there's a comment here underneath. We're mad because athletes and pro sports leagues are backing sex offenders with criminal records instead of police. Yeah, I think that's valid, right? Isn't that? I think that's a valid perspective. And I don't think there's any comeback to something like that. And of course, there is none in the comments. Here's one. I was just getting into the NHL after leaving the NBA and MLB. All they had to do was shut up, and they would have just had a ton of new fans. And there's a couple of comments of support here. Excellent point. You think one major sports organization could have rejected all this woke crap to stand out? Exactly, my man, another guy says. Here's one. Hockey doesn't need any of you guys anyways. Another negative comment there. Very, very few of them. Here's somebody responded. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Hockey, like any other entertainment market, needs viewers and fans to buy their products. No fans, no money, no NHL. It's simple. I think I'm going to end it off on that. That really just says it all right there. You know, hockey doesn't need any of you guys anyway. Yes, it does. No fans, no money, no NHL. It's simple. Will the market respond? I think the market is responding to what's going on, what's being preached to them from on high. And the question is will the people who supply the content, being pro sports, take notice? Will they pay any attention? Will just simply agreeing with everything, if it kind of vaguely sounds like the right thing to do, will that go out of favor? Will that become less popular? Because everybody from the owners down to the players is losing money. I think it's possible, but the world is so crazy. This left-wing, this Marxist, left-wing, intersectional, postmodernist craziness has so infected all of the institutions now. It makes you wonder if you can even get it out. It seems like a kind of suicidal stupidity. And it seems kind of unimaginable that, they could jump off the building. But maybe they will. Maybe jump off the building they will. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe because the algorithm doesn't want you to see this kind of content. So you must subscribe if you want to see more. Liking and sharing also really helps, and I thank you for that. Just want to listen, there's Radio Baloney, the podcast. It's on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and iTunes and Spreaker and Spotify and a million more. Radio Baloney, if you look for it, you will find it. Also on BitChute, Minds, and Parler. Those are great platforms. Parler is a great place to request a video on some topic that nobody else has done, and I'm happy to do that. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.